Welcome to the Citizen channel, our regular feature, the latest episode of the Matchday Home programme watch, where we have a look at the City home programmes and watch my sister channel where I rate the away programmes as well. But we're going to have a look at City versus Leeds on the 14th of December 2021. An interesting game, tight game. Yeah, for about 6 minutes. So there you go. We're going to have a look at the programme and see what's going on with that. It's obviously £3.50 for 84 pages. And on the front cover, yeah, he didn't feature on the night, but there you go. That sometimes happens. Back in Pep's favour, seemingly, but obviously not. Sterling was on the front cover, but of course, with the team for Leeds named, he was on the bench. So there you go. But that sometimes happens. Yeah, if you want to subscribe to the Matchday magazine, if you're abroad, you can subscribe as well. But the basic price is 26 issues for £84.50 here in the UK and Channel Islands, etc., at www.reachsportshop.com. And if you do want it, one of our millions of fans across the world, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want it? It's an extra 65 quid, so that takes it, up to about 150 quid. 26 versions of it. That's not too bad. That's for the EU, and an extra 80 quid, 165 quid near enough for the rest of the world. So money well spent in my opinion. Just for a couple of articles in this every week, I'd spend that, to be honest with you. You're not guaranteed whether in the UK or abroad, obviously, to get these by match day. They usually come 3 or 4 days afterwards, and so have a look at that. And you want to subscribe? Yeah. So going on to the programme itself, of course, Pep's in it. Yeah, no surprise. And he shares his views and he asks for to fight for every ball and every point, he says. And he did ask the fans to turn up the atmosphere. Well, we certainly did on that night, didn't we? Let's face it. It was like playing the old leagues. You know, they're not great in the league. They're not one of the top guys, but we obviously rose to the occasion for like the old days in the 60s and 70s against Leeds United. Some cracking atmosphere, some cracking games. So there you go. Sterling is the main, as you'd expect. He's on the cover. He's the main player article interview, and he's obviously delighted to have joined the 100 Premier League club goal club. And the article looks in quite good depth at the 100 goals. He doesn't do each one, but obviously it takes us through some of the key moments in that. He's actually, the Sterling fact, he scored 18 of those 100 for Liverpool, of course, and 82 for City. So the sooner he gets to 100 just for City, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Kevin Cummins, yeah, and I quite enjoyed that, his little piece this week. He talks about his photo shoot for the NME, which he's done lots of these things for. The Fall, yeah, the Fall. He's actually shot them live in concert, stuff like that. But Mark of the Fall, I'm not too familiar with the Fall. The group was a Blue, and he wanted to do at the time in the City programs. There was a at home feature, so it used to feature the players. Occasionally, it might feature a manager and stuff like that. But it used to feature the players at home in the home environment. And Mark, who was a big Blue, wanted to do one as a similar theme. So obviously, it was a bit cluttered. Let's be gentle. A cluttered flat in Prestwich he shot it. So I would say when obviously in the City programme, you'd see the quite big houses of the players even at that time. Obviously the cluttered flat in Prestwich was quite a juxtaposition, wasn't it? But good piece from Kevin Cummins. The head-to-head features Foden and Dan James, of course. Is there a comparison? Well, yeah, it's not too bad actually. I was quite impressed with Dan James' stats compared to our Phil's, to be honest with you. I mean, if you look at one of them, Phil Foden has actually done 173 crosses in 78 games, and obviously James has done 154 crosses in 16 less in 62 games. So nothing about how accurate the crosses were. I think our Phil puts them in that danger zone quite regular, doesn't it? But interesting start. And yeah, it's quite a good head-to-head on paper. I would have thought, no comparison, but it's quite interesting. Played for both. We have the ever Mr. Popular, of course, with City fans these days because of his comments after he left City, Mr. James Milner. Others include, of course, Richard Jobson, Robbie Fowler, and massive others played for Leeds and Manchester City. A classic blast from the past. Ellen Road, January 1978, a feisty encounter, wasn't it? For everyone there, City fans, Leeds fans, that's one of the classics, if you like, back to 1978 when City and Leeds were big games, whether they like it or not. Leeds were big then. Obviously, they struggled a bit after that, didn't they? But they still think they're big, don't they? But yeah, well, the jury's out on that one, guys, I'm afraid. But yeah, they were feisty. It was feisty encounter. counties in the 60s and 70s, and that was a classic at Ellen Road. X and the City features legend Paul Lakes. Nice to hear Paul talk about his early career and his career, and of course the problems and his view of the current City team, and of course he'd love to play in it. Of course we'd love to see him, someone like Paul Lake in that team as well. Quiz question, I'll give you the answer at the end. And interesting enough, yeah, I saw a fan holding up his phone with a picture of the European Cup on it. Yeah, well, you haven't won it either, lads, so I have no idea. I mean, obviously, pretty clueless, some fans, aren't they? I have no idea. But here's the question. Who did Leeds lose to? You know, they've lost the European Cup final like we have. Who did Leeds lose to in 1975? Yeah, so, yeah, very interesting Leeds fans. A weird bunch, to say the least. So who did Leeds lose to in the 1975 European Cup final? There are normal ones out there, guys. Don't get me wrong. There's loony City fans as well. But, yeah, they are a weird bunch. Certainly on social media, a strange bunch of fans. Great piece by Gary James as he looks, of course, at our first false nine system. Yeah, Pep didn't invent this. We were invented it back in the 50s with things like the Revie Plan and other stuff over the years. So he has a look at that and these sort of formations. And for Leeds fans as well, I don't want to have a dig, guys, but if you want to know where City fans were when we were very good, or SHIT, just have a look at Gary James's article on crowds comparing Leeds with City. I mean, there's not many teams compared, to be honest with you, in these features, because we sort of leave most of them for loyalty and numbers for dead, to be honest with you. There's only a handful who can compete or better us on that score over history, if you like. John Stones is in What's in a Name. Yeah, the one I've got. O is for one. Yeah, it is. In three roughly number of. Yeah, he's actually sorry. In his games, he had played 60 and had 188 clean sheets. So almost 1 in 3, roughly. But obviously, it's now 61 in 189. So it's got a bit closer, hasn't it? So it's for 1 in 3, roughly the number of clean sheets John Stones has played in when he's played for City. City Women features Lauren Hemp, a little piece on her. The under-18s, yeah, Liam Smith is asked about his hair again. I don't know why they have this fixation of asking these young lads about their hair, because most of them won't have any in another 20, 30 years' time. But hey, there you go. Liam Smith likes to wear the number 7 shirt, but also enjoys the Ronaldo celebration. I'm not sure where this lad's allegiances lie, guys. I'm not very happy with that. So Liam Smith, yeah, I think there's a trend there with who you like and the number and whose celebration you like. So you want to knock that on the head, mate. You're one of the City fans to like you. Look at the EDS season so far, where we're almost halfway in with that. So that's just a general look at that. Buzzword, yeah, old Buzzer's back. He looks back at Christmas fixture congestion. I wouldn't mind a little bit more on that, actually. He touches upon it very briefly about the days and the Christmas games and all. There always used to be lots of games back in time as well. And he looks at recent events on and off the pitch, of course. So, not a bad issue, actually. Yeah, the Kevin Cummins thing, really interesting. I had a good read of that this time. Sometimes I sort of glance through it. It's never usually a big article anyway, but I quite enjoyed that this week. And, of course, the Gary James piece. As always, in this, as I say, it's worth the subscription fee in itself. Was also a great read. A lot of stuff I know about, but obviously it's always nice to reread stuff and find out bits of information you may have forgotten. And I forget loads of stuff. I'm not very good, guys. And the quiz question before we go. Who did Super Leeds, Dirty Leeds, whichever Leeds you want to call them, lose to in the 1975 European Cup final? Of course, well, they lost to the mighty, and they are pretty mighty, let's be honest about it, at Bayern Munich. So that's the answer to the quiz question. So enjoy that, guys. Let me have an hour. Say, please, if you don't subscribe and you're interested in these sort of things, there's always some great stuff in it. So please do that. If you don't get to the games and buy a program there, let's give them your support. That'll be a fantastic. Hope you enjoyed that. Let me know in your comments anyway what you think, if you got the program yet, anything that's up your eye. That'd be brilliant. Thanks for joining me. Whatever you're going to do rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. To meet here again on the Citizen channel. Perhaps have a look at my film and TV channel. I try and inform and entertain as best I can on there as well. So give us a look on there, guys, and give us a thumbs up on there as hopefully you can on here for me as well. I don't get as many thumbs ups on the film ones, even though I get lots of views. Obviously, they probably don't like my reviews. I'm not too sure, but I'm sure that's not the case. say I'm not never overly cruel, as you know, with my player ratings and stuff like that. So please have a look at that if you get a chance. But if you're not into films and TV, don't worry about it. Come back on here on the Citizen channel. Come and visit me. That'd be absolutely fantastic. And until you do, I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.